Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. I'm going to prepare and discuss some features of a couple of products that I got from Panini. So thank you, Panini, but thank you also Topps, Upper Deck, Heritage Auctions, Huggins & Scott Auctions, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Burbank Sports Cards, ComC.com, and Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentications. I got these boxes in the mail, even though they just live across town, and I see the guys every once in a while, but occasionally I'll get a box containing some sealed boxes of product. I got Mosaic here, 2024 football, and then 23-24 Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Basketball. Wondering which one I will prefer. There's a price differential. When I get these boxes, I think, let me look at David Adams. I go to David Adams instead of Blowout. Nothing against Blowout, but I knew Dave. I don't see Dave very much because he's retired, but I see Adam, and I've known Adam for a long time. So I just go to DA Cardworth. A little shout out there. The prices are pretty similar for all the different ones that sell lots of stuff. They're selling the Mosaic for $4.50 per hobby box. It's 15 cards in each of the 10 packs, 2 autographs in the box. I like that. Look for ultra rare inserts, including stained glass, micro mosaic, and more. Did not get those. Jordan Love and Michael Penix on the front cover. Again, a couple quarterbacks, 15 mosaic parallels, 5 silvers, I think 20 inserts you get in each box on average. And I got my 2 autographs. I didn't get any of the micro mosaic, stained glass, money, any of these SSPs they talked about, but that's okay. This is 2024, already well into the year. We know what the crop of rookies are, and we're mostly through the season to see how Caleb Williams performed and Jaden Daniels overperformed, certainly in the beginning of the year, and Drake May, Malik Neighbors, Brock Bowers now. J.J. McCarthy might even be the sleeper. Got a year to rest up and get healthy. Bo Nix, there's a bunch of them. Well, one of the things that comes up when you're opening up a box, you're thinking, what would a normal hobbyist do if they bought this? You're getting 150 cards, and maybe 30% of them have some attribute to them. But you're still paying $3 a card across the board if you paid $4.50 for 150 cards. I do see lots of mosaics in the dollar boxes, and I don't always pick them up. It depends on the player and the color and all that kind of situation. But the product's been out only a couple of weeks. The issue that comes up to me when I think of hobby behavior is when a player like Wemby and maybe C.J. Stroud last year at the peak of his mania is somebody good enough or touted enough that even the base cards are going to be graded. In other words, you're going to sleeve even a base card of Caleb Williams or Brock Bowers or Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix and send them into your grader of choice. If you do that, and let's say they all gem, then they're generally saleable unless they fall out of favor and get benched. I look at the DA card world. They don't have it tiered, and I don't think it's perfectly in rank order, but they'll have a list of the rookies that are in the product. And it's not that controversial. I don't think they adjust it very frequently, but it's got Caleb Williams first. I don't know that they're going to take the trouble to rank or get feedback to move that list around, but it's helpful to see those are the guys you're over. I got a bunch of them, but not necessarily the parallels and not necessarily the inserts of them, but I got some nice ones in there. Presumably gem. The quality control on the shiny cards is outstanding. If you get a 9, you're disappointed. Many of the people that worked at Panini in the product group moved over to Topps, but Panini still has this reputation, and they say, true to its vibrant legacy, 2024 Mosaic Football delivers one of the most colorful, powerfully paralleled. And I thought that's exactly what they're trying to do. They want to parallel the set with some consider overkill, but lots of choices to get your favorite player. There's a point of diminishing returns if you overkill it, but when you're opening up a box, you'd like to get a good card of your favorite player. Okay, the other box I got, sometimes I think that's this Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. It's not the Turkish League. It's the Turkish Airlines sponsored EuroLeague hobby box from the Panini Crown Royale brand they acquired with the Pacific brands. And so they can do Crown Royale, and it's not to be confused with the Crown Royale International set. The box has Tim Duncan on the front and is a little bit more expensive, but that's another product. I always liked Crown Royale. The other thing I liked about Crown Royale in this current iteration is that they're making it more vertical. Panini's done it more in a vertical style, but then Pacific doing it more in a hort style. And I like vertical better. And the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague released last week. When I went on David Adams to say, I really appreciated this. It was $110 for a box. But then when I clicked on it, it said, sorry, we can only ship to Asia or Australia. So maybe this is restricted. So my $110 is not, unless I had an Asia or Australia address, which I don't, I couldn't get it. But I got a box to open, and I opened it, and I'm going to share my experience. But I thought that was interesting. As I've pointed out, there's different types of licenses, and licenses usually have some restrictions. And this is probably a restriction to do the cards, but to only distribute it according to that, to Asia or Australia. You know what? Why can't it be distributed to Europe? Asia, Australia, Europe would be a natural. It's a EuroLeague. And South America, that would be another continent. They're not doing. Panini's getting creative. They need to be creative because they're having a shrinking number of licenses. And so they've got to hit it great with the ones they do have. And I really originally thought this was a little bit of an afterthought because I thought, the product highlights, you just get one pack. 8 cards in a pack. So you get 1 autograph, 1 memorabilia card, 3 inserts or parallels, and then 3 base cards. So I thought, okay, I wasn't really that optimistic. In fact, I'm looking at the box now, and I don't recognize any of the players on the box. It says 23-24 Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Panini Crown Royale Basketball trading cards. That's a mouthful. 1 autograph, 1 memorabilia card per box on average. And then at the bottom, in small print, is Paris Lee, Kevin Punter, Shavon Shields, Nolan Smits, Dezanon Musa, and Cassius Roberts. I'm sorry. I used to know everybody in every sport, I think, and I don't now. Okay, so I really was not that optimistic of what my 1 pack of 8 cards was going to be. And I thought, I love all cards. Some cards are better than others, but I love all cards. To open up and see what I got. I love opening packs because I don't know what I'm going to get. And if I got 8 cards and one of them was a good card, I'd be happy with that one. If the other 7, again, they're not terrible. They're just low demand. And if it's low demand, and none of them are going to be high supply. So they are interesting cards until, and this is why I'm recommending this, is that I found not the fine print, but down at the bottom, it says cards depicting players or imagery from previous EuroLeague seasons may be included randomly in the packages. Now, the fact that's listed down at the bottom instead of more prominently, they may be not allowed to say that. Because if they did, they'd sell a lot more of these EuroLeague cards. Because many of you are aware, certainly every single person in Dallas is aware, that some really good players have come out of the EuroLeague. And sometimes it's guys that have had the NBA career and then they go over there. So I really did not have big expectations. I just thought, I'm going to find out about some Eastern European players that maybe eventually will find their way over to the NBA when they're 28 years old, and they're always fundamentally sound and good shooters and don't turn the ball over and all that stuff. And so here's what happened. I opened my pack. And it's systematic. It's not like you're going to get your best card on top necessarily. There's an order to it. So my first card is a guy, Krunislav. I never heard of him. I don't know him. Next is Igor. Again, these are base cards. So I'm thinking, okay, again, I'm still happy because when you have a bad experience, sometimes it means you're maybe going to have a good experience the next time. If I don't recognize any of the players, actually, if I didn't recognize, I would still look up. There's going to be 1 autograph card in there, and there's going to be a game used. And I for sure would at least look those up to see how I would have done. And the next one is Vanya Marinkovic. So my base card's not good. So I'm thinking, that's too bad. Okay, now it gets interesting. My autograph is Marco Bellinelli. Now, I saw him play, I think Spurs. Spurs came to Dallas all the time, and I've had season tickets for 33 years. And so I saw him play a lot. He's a good player. Now, I don't know if this is the end of his career going over there. And then my game use is Kostas Papanikolaou. I don't know him, and I'm a stickler. I'd love to see more stats on the back because I don't know if this guy, it doesn't even have anything. I'd have to look up to see whether he's young or old. If he's young, who knows, but he might be old. Okay, then now it gets even more interesting. Shabazz Napier. Okay, now I remember seeing him play in college, and he had some time in the NBA. And so this is crystallized, serial numbered, and I like that. Next, I got Hazonia. again, I saw him play in the NBA. So I'm thinking, hey, already now it's looking like half the players in this set. And this is, again, numbered with a kind of a ruby tone, and it's die cut. And I think that's cool. Okay, now, and finally, I got Luka. It's an insert and it's numbered, and I'm just tickled pink. I may get this slab and put on my wall for something that I had close to zero expectation. But I think this is a better Luka card than I've gotten out of any other of the packs that I've opened. Now, I've got another pack opening experiment coming in a few weeks based on an auction lot that I bought. And I'm not sure I'll do that YouTube or audio podcast. So I'm looking here at a Luka that's very photogenic. He's in his Real Madrid uniform, and he looks younger. He's probably 17 or something. But I think I'll get the slab and put on my wall. Again, I want to thank Panini for retaining and resurrecting a Crown Royale. I think that's really cool. I love the historical reference of taking a brand that was a premium brand for Pacific and then keeping it alive, keeping it aware. I can tell you this, that because Panini has kept the Pacific brands alive, I think it's helped my ComC sales of Pacific cards that are from the originals. And when I do my eBay player lots, the Pacific cards from the 90s and early 2000s, when they were producing cards, they pop, they show off, and they look different when I'm displaying photos of the cards. Upper Deck bought Fleer. Brian Gray bought Leaf, not the cards, but just the trademarks, the brand, and the ability to use the name, and it matters. So a Crown Royale, if somebody shows up and looks at my wall and sees a Crown Royale, Luka Doncic, that's die cut and serial numbered with an interesting design, I think I say that's cool. They're not going to say, oh, that's a Turkish Airlines EuroLeague card. A card is a card. Some are better than others. So anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks especially Panini. Keep up the good work. There's some